I've been putting it off for a little while, and that is I've been wanting to make some chili. But the past couple of months I haven't been feeling very well. My doctor had me on a new medication, and initially it seemed to be helping, but then it didn't help. My legs swelled up really bad, much worse than usual. The pain level was quite a lot worse than usual, and everything was difficult. I went to my other doctor, a rheumatologist, and he got me another medication to counteract that. And anyways, I'm starting to do better finally. But in any case, again, time to make some chili. And like I said in other videos, I'm trying to eat healthier. I need to lose weight desperately. But if you can't enjoy the food you eat, then it's not any fun, and it's much harder. So I'm trying to make healthier choices, eat healthier, be healthier, but I want it to taste good too. And I'm not being fanatical about being health nut. Maybe I should be, but I'm not. I'm just trying to take steps in the direction of being healthier. And this is one ingredient I've been using for a while now. I drink it all the time. This is white tea. I'm going to use, like I also say before, I try not to buy anything in a can or in a bag, basically anything that's been processed or pre-made. But there are some exceptions. Let me read you the ingredient list on this can of crushed tomatoes. Ingredients: fresh red ripe tomatoes. That's the complete ingredient list. I'm looking at the nutrition area of the label. It says sodium, 20 milligrams. That's probably naturally occurring sodium in the tomatoes themselves. It's possible they may have added a little bit in the processing. The government allows companies to put ingredients such as salts or other, they have certain ratios and all these sort of things. In any case, 20 milligrams is not very much, so I'm happy with that. And there's no other ingredients other than tomatoes, so cool, I like it. Tastes good too. And right here, this is a pound of ground beef that I've cooked up, and I've drained all the fat off of it, and it's nice and brown and fully cooked. So, my infamous rice cooker. It's trusty, and I use it, like I say, I use it for making rice. I also use it to cook soup, I cook pasta in it, a stew, and in this case, chili. Works very well. So, in goes the pound of ground beef. You can use chicken, turkey, you can use whatever you like if you don't want to use beef. You can use no meat if you prefer. Make it vegetarian. And just go with vegetables, obviously. I use a lot of mushrooms. I'm going to be using about 8 ounces of mushrooms here in this chili. You can use lots more mushrooms in place of the meat. Asparagus and broccoli work very well when you chop it up and it cooks down. A lot of people won't even notice that it's not meat. And with all the spices you add to it, it's highly unlikely anybody would ever notice. So, yeah, whatever works good for you. But on to the crushed tomatoes here. Add just a little bit of water to the can and swirl it around, trying to get all that tomato sauce out of there. scrape down the sides of the can. And there's some hot water for the tea I'm going to be using here. On to the mushrooms. You can slice them, you can dice them, you can chop them, you can smash them, whatever you want to do. Since you're cooking it, you're eating it, make it any way you want. I just, nothing terribly fancy. On the mushrooms, I'm just gonna do a quick chop. I'm not real particular about how big they are or anything or what size they are. I just want them to be kind of somewhat small, so they're similar in size to the size of the ground beef chunks or the ground chicken chunks or whatever you happen to be using. Something like that. And I'm going to add them all to this skillet here. Saute them up a little bit. Get a little color on them. Get a little bit of flavor out of them that way. I'm going to use a little bit of this sesame oil. Don't use much. It's very, very strong. I'm just going to use a little tiny bit to add a little little hint of flavor to it. That's plenty. Okay, I'm going to finish up these mushrooms and get on with the chili here. Well, there's the mushrooms all cut up, all 8 ounces. It's a half a pound. You may think, whoa, it's a lot of mushrooms. Well, yes and no. Once they cook, they're going to cook down and they're going to be a lot smaller, a lot more compact than they are right now. So we'll let them continue to cook, get browned up, get some flavor on them. Some extra virgin olive oil will help. That's about 5 or 6 cloves of garlic. If you don't like garlic, like I say in most of my recipes and all, just leave it out. If you love garlic, go ahead and add a whole bunch more. Just whatever tickles your taste buds. These still have the peel, the skin on them. You can just put it on there, put the knife on like that. Make sure the sharp edge is away from you, and use the heel of your hand. Give it a good smack. And that skin should come off fairly easily most of the time. Just like that. And I'm just going to chop these up, and when those mushrooms are just about done, I'm going to throw these into mushrooms and let them cook in there, release some of their oil that way, and develop some good flavor. So I'm just going to do a basic smash them and then just a chop. Nothing fancy or elaborate, just a If you like big chunks, you can leave larger chunks. If you like them smaller, just make them smaller, whatever works for you. And I'm also going to add some onion. Again, if you don't like onion, leave it out. If you love onion, add lots of onion. This is a way to cut it that I came up with, and works good for me. I do it differently than you see on those cooking shows on TV, on different networks and all that. I cut off each end first, like this. I don't go quite all the way through. I try not to. And then just use the knife to kind of hold it, and then peel it like that. And you'll get a bit of peel off that way. Then you go to the other side, turn it over with that peeled side down. Go to the other end, do the same thing. Just cut to the end. Don't go all the way through it. And just use a knife to kind of hold it down. And peel that again. And then take that layer, and there's a little bit more there I can still use. And you can save these for soup, whatever you want to. This particular time, I'm going to have to throw it away. And the way I don't do anything fancy. You see them on TV where they want you to cut it sideways like this, and that can be really dangerous if you don't have a really sharp knife and you're not real familiar with what you're doing. For home, you know, in a restaurant they want everything to look really precise and the same size because it's all presentation. This is going to be in the chili. You're not going to even see it. So I don't care a whole lot how it looks. So I'm just going to do it really simple, just like I'm making little slices. And then from there, just do a rough chop on it. Make sure you keep your fingers away, your toes away. Anything else that's important to you, keep that away from the sharp knife too. That's just a real easy way to chop an onion. And I think it looks fine just like that. If you want to do that to garnish chili at the very end, put a little on top or on your hot dogs or whatever. I think it just looks just fine, and there's pretty much no risk at you cutting your fingers off that you might want for other things later on in life. There you go. Doesn't get much easier than that. You know, these mushrooms have cooked down pretty far, so they don't look quite as like there's quite as much of them as there used to be. And I'm going to add these onions to that now. And the garlic. And I'm just going to let that go for a few minutes, get a little bit of color on it, get it to brown up a little bit, then I'll add it to the chili. You don't have to saute it in the pan if you don't want to. You can put it right into the pot of chili. I'm just sauteing it because it gives it a little extra flavor, and why not? Look at that. That's the mushrooms and onions and the garlic. Ooh, another one trying to get away. And I think it's browned up a little bit there, cooked down a little bit now. I'm going to go ahead and add it to the chili and let it finish off in there. I used about a half of a medium-sized onion. Like I say, on most of my recipes, you don't have to measure everything exactly perfect. You can just, I like to eyeball it and get pretty close. I don't mind if the recipe doesn't taste exactly the same every single time I make it. A little variety, a little bit of change, a little bit of difference is fine with me. If you're the kind of person that likes everything to taste exactly the same way when you cook it, that's not wrong. That's perfectly fine. Everybody's different. We all have likes and dislikes, and we're all different. So whatever way, whatever you like, it's best for you. little better look at it there. This is the white tea. Let that drip a little bit there. People say you're not supposed to squeeze them. Well, it's up to you if you want to squeeze the tea bag or not. No, it's your choice. You're probably thinking, I thought you said it was a white tea. That looks black to me. Well, it when you brew it, it comes up pretty dark, or somewhat dark. It's not nearly as dark as black tea, but it's in the processing or the lack of processing that makes it the white tea and makes it have a healthier option. And we're getting closer to getting all the ingredients in here now. I'm going to use 1 teaspoon here of some chipotle chili peppers. If you don't like it hot and spicy, just leave these out. It's perfectly fine. If you like it really hot and spicy, add some more. I'm going to go with a teaspoon of paprika. You can use smoked paprika, sweet paprika, whichever you prefer. And you'll see me mention this in many of the videos I do. It's not a spice we use typically very much here in America, especially in Mexican, Italian dishes or chili. But it's turmeric. It comes from like India, I believe, in that part of the world. And it's been said to have some very positive health benefits, especially for men, in preventing certain types of cancer, or reducing the risk anyway. In any case, add a good, if you notice that's kind of yellow. If you add a lot of it, it'll turn everything yellow, so don't go crazy with it. Or do go crazy if you really like it. Just go crazy with it if you want to. I think they use turmeric in a lot of the mustards that are made here in America. It adds the color yellow, that brilliant yellow coloring to it. And again, this is something that again is optional. It's up to you. This is chopped green chilies. I'm just, these are, I'm not positive, they're either Anaheim's or Big Jim, something in that category. I'm just going to add a little bit. Just because I like them, just for fun, you know. You can leave those out if you want to. Those aren't hot, these are very mild. You can get hot ones. You can get some really hot ones. It's a green, it's a vegetable, so it's going to add to it some more, a little bit of minor health benefits, a little bit of flavor, that sort of thing. And this is some balsamic vinegar. This is American style, so it's really thin, really watery. About a tablespoon, or actually I changed that, about a teaspoon, or a very good teaspoon's worth there. And I'm going to go with some cumin, whatever you want to cumin and call it. Approximately a half of a teaspoon. More if you like it, less if you don't. And this is one of my favorite ingredients. I like this particular brand. I don't normally, well, I don't endorse any brand. I just like this one. Yeah, I think it has much better flavor. It's more expensive than some of the other name brands out there, but I think the flavor is well worth it. Again, everybody's different. If you prefer a different brand, use the one you like best. Use a tablespoon this time. About 4 tablespoons worth. And I'm going to add some pepper. You can add as much or as little as you like. You can use black pepper or white pepper. I'm using some white pepper. About a teaspoon here. Again, more if you really like the pepper, less if you don't like pepper. That's looking like it's going to be pretty good there. However, I'm going to add a little more water. This is about 6 ounces roughly. Again, the amount isn't terribly critical. Turn this on to the cook position, to the high temperature position. Now then, this is ready to let it sit and let all the spices and flavors all work together and make it taste really super yummy. I would recommend probably a minimum of an hour and a half. When it comes up to boil, lower the temperature down. See all the good stuff in there? When it begins to boil, lower the temperature down and let it simmer. You can use a slow cooker. If you don't have a rice cooker, you can use a slow cooker. You can use a crock pot. You can do a Dutch oven inside the oven. You can do a pot on the stove top. That you got to be careful though. Keep the temperature really low, or otherwise you'll burn on the bottom of the pan. If you want, you can do all the prep work we just did with the onions and the mushrooms and the garlic and the ground beef. Do all that the night before, and then in the morning when you get up, you can just, I would put the hamburger and the mushrooms and onions into a skillet and get it hot, get it warmed up really well. And then before you leave for work, dump it all into the rice cooker or the slow cooker or the crock pot, and then turn it on to low and head off to work. And when you come back home 8 hours later, 10 hours later, 12 hours later, whatever it may be, you have a wonderful pot of chili waiting for you when you get home. And I've let this go up to 12 hours or so, and it is excellent. It doesn't hurt it, it doesn't make it mush, it makes it wonderfully tasty. So I'm going to let this go for at least 8 hours, 12 hours. It's going to be hard to do to wait that long for me, but for you, it's about a second or so away. So stick around here, and we'll plate this up for you in just a few seconds. Well, it's been longer than I had planned on it being. It's been 18 hours, just past 18 hours. I was only planning on letting it cook for about 8 to maybe up to 12 hours, but things happen. I wasn't feeling too well. A little too much pain in the legs and feet from my peripheral neuropathy and that stuff there. But anyways, I managed to get it together enough to where I can, whoops, there we go, finish this up. Let me do it this way first. As you can see, it's looking pretty good there. As I forgot to mention before that there are two things that I didn't put in this chili, and I bet you probably some of you knows what they were. One of them was I didn't put any salt in here. That's because the Worcestershire sauce, the balsamic vinegar have plenty of salt in them, and there's a little bit of salt in the tomatoes and everything else. So I didn't feel it was necessary. But if you taste it and you think it needs a little bit, yeah, go ahead, add some more to it. The second thing I didn't add is beans. Some people like their chili to be musical, you know, beans, a musical fruit. But if you were a person who likes beans in their chili, definitely add the beans there. I've eaten it both ways, and both ways are very good. This time I just didn't want to go with beans. So, that's where we are now. Again, everybody's different. Some people like their chili a little thinner, and that's thin. Some people like it thicker. So what do you do if it's a little thinner than you like? Well, I've got a solution for that. I've got a couple of solutions actually. Generally, people would make a slurry out of a mixture of flour and water. Take cold water, add maybe 2-3 ounces of water, and add 4 or 5 tablespoons of flour to it, and shake it up in a jar really well until the flour is dissolved. Add it to the chili or whatever you're making, and stir it in until it thickens up. But flour is one of the things I'm trying to avoid as much as possible. So I have a couple of somewhat healthier options, and I'll let you decide if you want to try them yourself or whichever you think will be best. So this is oats. More specifically, this is rolled oats, and they're also known as old-fashioned oats. And you can add them just like this to soup, chili, stew, whatever you're making. They will soak up some moisture and thicken it up. Some people may find it objectionable to see these little oats into their chili soup or whatever. And so if that's the case, take some oats, put them in a food processor or like a spice grinder, coffee grinder, and grind them down to where they're not quite as fine as flour, but they're very, very fine. You can add that. You don't need to add flour, don't need to add water with it. Just right in to the chili or the stew, whatever you're making. And you just stir those in. Of course, you're going to need more than that, obviously. That will only take a few minutes for it to thicken up. It does it pretty quickly. Another option is mashed potato flakes. Just shake them right on in there. And these are almost instantaneous. They thicken up very, very quickly. They will thicken up a bit more as a little time goes by. And like I mentioned earlier in the video, if you cook this for an hour, hour and a half, that's fine, it's ready to eat. The longer you cook it, the more flavor it will develop. And as you can see, it's been 18 and a half hours now, and it's just looking wonderful, and it's really, really tasty. So, I think I could use a little bit more. I'm just going to do double dose. Add some more of the ground up oats there. And if you want to, let that cook another hour, half an hour maybe to an hour. Let the maximum thickening capabilities of those potatoes and oats take effect. But it's fine just like that. You can see it's already quite a bit thicker. So, and again, if you want it thicker, just add a little bit more to it. A little cheese. There we go, some homemade chili, just the way you like it. You can make any adjustments you like to make it taste the way you want it. We'll see you next time on Cook and Gobble videos.